Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of SEC After Dark. It's the greatest day of the week, my favorite day of the week. And we are live, so your comments, we'll take your comments anytime you can get them. Trinidad is back. I wish Steve was here to talk about it, but I imagine he's doing Locked on Ole Miss and plenty of it. He's probably pretty excited about it, so
we actually have a live look in here at Steve doing all the Ole Miss stuff tonight.
It's a lot of cigarettes.
Yep. He's on one tonight, I bet.
I guarantee he's on one. I mean, it's crazy. But it was quite the roller coaster for Trinidad Chambliss, as you could tell from the way when I first put up this show, the link was he was denied. Then he wasn't. I was like, what are we doing? So we'll touch on that a little bit, but I really kind of want to wait for Steve to kind of get his victory lap there, so we won't talk about it too much. Boss Man going to be joining us later on, but it's going to be a three-man weave here. Mike Huseman, Off Season After Dark. It just feels like we're doing another episode of Locked on Vandy, but with a different background.
Yep.
And not having to talk about Vanderbilt. So it's lava time.
Yep.
Okay, now it's official. Now we can get started. So, Mike, I haven't. I got to catch up on All Season After Dark. I've gotten kind of behind a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay.
But you're killing it, dude. From what I've seen up to this point, you're absolutely crushing it.
The Missouri State guy I had this week was awesome. So he does sidelines Missouri State. Then he's also part of their NIL collective. So it was very interesting to get his take on, all the coaching changes they've had and a lot of that roster turnover this year. Nice. And another thing that was interesting, the day I had him on was the day after we found out North Dakota State was moving up. So we talked a lot about how that transition from FCS to FBS can go. Because he was a part of them doing that. So it was a good episode.
Yeah, that seems like it. It's just, I think people lose sight of like how interesting that stuff can actually be. Like these G5 schools are very, very interesting. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize because they're like, oh, it's G5, but how it is, right?
No, I think that's absolutely. And even within the G5, there is kind of that hierarchy, and CUSA's probably at the bottom. So even less people think about them. Like they're kind of the catch-all that any team that wants to come up to FBS that doesn't have a home, CUSA will take you.
Yeah, exactly. It's the land of the misfit toys, I guess, right?
Yeah.
CUSA, love it. But we talked a little bit last night on Locked on Vandy that and it aired today. It aired this morning, but we talked about the G5 playoffs, and I'm all in favor of that, man. And that's something that I think will benefit FBS. It'll benefit FCS. It'll benefit G5. It'll benefit, all of it, And I just still don't get how people are all up in arms about it.
ESPN would love it because I think they pick days like we talked about. You do the Maction CUSA Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and so many more people would tune in for that than they would for even your standard, mid-season games that are on those nights.
Yeah, I mean that's what you do, and you maximize your exposure. And guess what happens? People go to G5 schools. People want to play at those places, and that's what you
absolutely. Yeah, and I think that you just look at how much playing midweek on ESPN helped the MAC grow as a brand in the last 15 years, and that would happen to anybody, I think.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. I thought it was an interesting discussion, and I wish the rest of the guys were on here to talk about that, but I just for the notion that it waters down everything, I think that I don't agree with that.
I don't think that one either. No.
I think if you're a national champion, you're a national champion. Like you're playing with schools, right? And if you really wanted to do it, maybe I don't know. Maybe you have it. Maybe have your tournament and then let the champions do like the champions game, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like we all know how that would end. But
and one of the things you could even do for the G5 one, if you're having 12 teams in a playoff, if instead of having that conference title game, because they all have divisions at that level, and or they don't anymore, but you potentially could go back to that. I don't know, but you could have 1 and 2, you go to the playoffs, and then on what was conference title week, 3 and 4 play for that last spot in the playoff from that conference.
Yeah,
would be an idea. You could do that because then you could give each of those conferences 3 teams in the playoff.
Yeah, and then just let them duke it out.
Yeah,
like that would be a phenomenal model, and and for it to say it's going to water down the playoffs, the right champion will emerge.
Yes.
And if they don't, they weren't meant to be champions. Every other sport, the champion has to go through a gauntlet to get there.
I would love to see, like, if we were doing a hypothetical G5 one, the playoff, like the odds to win the title at the beginning of playoffs would be fascinating, because I think a lot of people, they might not know how to, put odds on that, just because you're going to get teams that didn't have ideal non-con schedules, and some teams, were sacrificial lambs and some weren't.
Yeah.
Hey, boss man.
Hey, boss man.
Hey, guys.
Give me a quick blurb on Trinidad, because we're talking about G5 playoffs, but we wanted Steve to get on here and enjoy his victory lap, so we're not going to dive too much into Trinidad, surprisingly.
Yeah. I'm excited for college football and for the SEC in that way, right? Like watching Trinidad this year was fantastic. I absolutely loved watching him play, especially the way he burst onto the scene, started the season. Nobody even knows who the heck this guy is. And then, by week 6, by week 7, everybody's like, this guy's a dog, right? He can play. So loved watching him play this year. I'm looking forward to watching him for another year. I think it makes sense. I think the court got it right in this case, where, we've talked about it before. Like, TJ Finley gets 8 years, 9 years, whatever the heck he's on now.
Yeah.
But Trinidad Chambliss, when he has, seemingly legitimate medical reasons for, not playing and getting a medical red shirt, and the NCAA is just like putting their foot down on this case, but not in Finley's case. It just seemed ridiculous. So I think the judge got it right in this case. And I'm looking. The one thing I will say about this is, like, I haven't heard what Trinidad has said about this. So some Ole Miss fans, help me in the comments if you know. I must have missed it. But, Trinidad played really well this year. Like, why not go to the NFL, man? Like, are you not – go get your money there. I really don't understand why necessarily. Is his draft grade, like, lower than he expects because he's too small? Like, what is it? Because he played well enough this year. I would think he would
probably be a day 2, late 2nd to 3rd round pick. And that's in a year where there's it's a bad QB draft. Next year, it's not going to be any better. He's going to get drafted lower next year probably, unless he lights the world on fire.
He could light the world on fire, but I guess he's just trying to get himself some extra reps in college, some extra NIL money, just in case he spends the rest of his career kicking around as a 3rd stringer.
Yeah,
in the NFL.
Yeah, I guess. But he's got – look, there's been small QBs in the NFL who have made it. You know what I mean? Like, go and prove yourself, right? He did light the world on fire this year, right? He played extremely well. Like, I don't know. I'm excited to see him again for another year in college. I think it's great. It's good for the SEC. But, yeah, if I'm him, I guess, sure. But even if you're late 2nd round, early 3rd round, like, that's a pretty good grade for him. You know what I mean? Like you said, you come back another year. Yeah, I guess if you light the world on fire, you can make yourself some money. You could play yourself into the top 25, et cetera. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Chris. Yeah,
that's a good point, Chris. Thank you. I figured it had to be something like that. That does make sense. So again, all in all,
makes you wonder what he could have got at LSU.
Steve's probably crying about it.
Yeah. Steve will be joining the show now in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Bossman, I notice you don't have a small microphone talking tonight, Bossman.
It's sitting right over here. I didn't plug it in. I decided I didn't want to hold it for an hour tonight.
Yeah,
like I had to last night.
Where's the dedication?
Well, I think what I'm going to figure out, Hammer had a good idea last night. I need to figure out, I'm going to buy or make a little mic stand for it. And so it'll just sit like in the front. You know, everybody has their podcast mics.
Yeah.
Mine is just going to be tiny, like right out in the front.
I have a Yeti that's like stationary next to the computer, but sometimes I'll use the clip ones that clip here are pretty nice.
Yeah. I got a few options with it. I need to figure it out. But this was a impulse buy in the line at Barnes and Noble on Saturday. I saw it. I was like, I have to have that. So it's not the most practical of mics, but it's just for fun.
That's awesome, dude. I got to catch up on y'all show. I didn't get a chance to join you guys last night, but dude, y'all
we were talking impact transfers. So we started going through, the transfer portal and just talking about Hammer did his 5. I'll do 5 next week.
That was a good segment. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun going through them. So I'm looking forward to next week doing that.
That's good. So now let's catch you back up on our conversation.
Yeah.
Because I'm fired up about Trinidad too, except for the fact that they play Vandy, and I was hoping Vandy would get Deuce Knight at that point. But nonetheless, here we are. But we're talking about G5. This started on Locked On Vandy with Mike and I last night.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about, playoffs, and we were talking about formats and things. We kind of just got into we kind of just took like a detour and got off onto got into a wormhole talking about playoff formats and things. Cause I think we were talking about the 9th game and why the SEC did the 9th game. And then we just kind of got into playoffs, but G5 having their own playoffs was what we talked about, and how it blows my mind. And Mike, I think you agree that there's fans out there that think that would dilute or taint their national champion. Like it wouldn't mean as much. And I was like, that couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
Hold on. What would taint it again?
Just having their own, like if they just had their own bracket and their own tournament and their own national championship, like you just they had their own classification.
You're talking about G5?
Yeah.
Like a lot of the G5 fans I talk to, they're dead. They don't want a separate G5.
I don't know if tainting is the right word, because that implies that it's
less than cheating. Is how I would.
Less than.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I see both sides of the argument, to be honest with you. It's tough for me to take a side because at times, and you can go back, if you want to watch a bunch of our footage, you can find it. I have said, I do think that there should be a G5 playoff, right? Like I think that we should separate it out, all that. Mm-hmm. But listening to some of the arguments of the G5 folks, talking about it, they make some good points. And part of it is, the David versus Goliath thing, right? Like that is really woven into the fabric of college sports and into college football. When you think about, Boise State, right, against Oklahoma, and some of those games. Even recently, right, like Tulane beating USC in the Cotton Bowl a couple years ago. So here's
in a whole playoff though, there's 10 Goliaths for every David.
Well, yes, and that is my next point, right? It's like,
is there really enough of those examples for them to kind of be up in arms?
Well, here's the big thing.
That's all you need. Yeah.
I still err on the side of they should have their own playoff, because here's the reality. Exactly what you said, Mike. Like there's 10 Goliaths in the playoff now for every one of the Davids. So do any of these teams realistically have a shot to win the national championship? No. Everyone knows it. The answer is no, right? So, like, if they
it might happen once in 50 years, realistically.
Maybe, right? So, like,
how long did it take a 16 seed to beat a 1 seed in basketball?
Correct, exactly, right? Like, it took forever.
And that's one game. That's one game.
So, everybody's like, well, it's getting into the playoff. No. The whole point of the playoff is to win a national title. So, if you don't really have a shot to win a national title, like, why are you even getting, a shot to play? We don't have the bowl system anymore where, it is fun every once in a while to watch a Boise State knock off an Oklahoma in a one game, they beat them 1 out of 10, right? This is about, can you make a run? Can you go to the national title? And I don't think any of these teams can.
I'll ask a hypothetical, and the answer for this would be different from everybody, but I want your guys' take. And the way I look at it would be, if alternate universe, if Tulane and JMU played for a national title this year in a G5 setup, would the winner of that game have been happier with their season than they were this year? I think the answer is probably yes, but everybody's going to have a different answer to it. It's not a one-size-fits-all.
Well, I agree with that. But here, I think if you ask the JMU folks, right, and even the team, I mean, they very recently won a D2 national title, and that is essentially what this would be. It would be G5, so a little bit different, like a slight step up, right? But they in their recent history have won those, and they still decided to heck with it. We want to go up, right? Yeah. So I don't know. I would agree with you. For me, it would be yes. Like, I would be much more satisfied with my season doing that than traveling to Eugene and getting, beaten pretty handily. I'd rather win a national championship and have a ring in the G5 than I would just, make the playoff ready to get my teeth kicked in, or Mike Tyson, throw a haymaker or two and put me on the mat in round 1.
Yeah, because, well, here's what these people fail to realize with JMU and deciding to go up. They were playing like opponents in the FCS tournament. They were playing FCS schools. They were equal, and they were the Goliath of FCS. They jump up to FBS. Now they're the David in a sea full of Goliaths, where if they knock down one Goliath, they're going to get knocked down by the other 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're not playing like opponents. And that is where the difference lies. And so if they had their own if they had their own tournament, there's no, like, they're playing like opponents. Like, P4 teams are playing like opponents. Yeah. G5 teams are playing like opponents. Now, if you wanted to have some sort of system to where, your G5 national champion gets to play in P4 next year, depending on region, depending on where they're located, they either go ACC, Big 10, SEC, or Big 12, and then your last place team, they just trade places in that conference. And then
I don't think the Power 4 teams would agree to that because of revenue losses.
Right.
They
would never agree to that, but that would be an interesting format.
Be fun.
It'd be fun for the fans. Yeah. But you're right. They would never agree to that. But
Northwestern or Vanderbilt, right? Vanderbilt, Northwestern, those teams would be like, hell no.
Those are both bowl games this year, boss man.
Vanderbilt won 10
generally,
games.
Purdue.
Vanderbilt ain't worried, dude. They won 10 games.
No doubt. I'm just saying, over the history, right?
Oklahoma State and all their oil money, we sending them to the American.
Yeah, right.
No, we're sending them to Coosa.
That would be a really fun exercise, like, for an off-season show to do that. Like, if you did the European style soccer relegation for college football, what would that look like, right?
How long would it take Oklahoma State to be promoted back in?
Yeah. Well, I actually think next year they're going to be pretty good.
They ain't getting relegated next year. No. So on that same token, though, like, boss man, in the state of Texas, you have 7 classifications?
For high school.
Yeah.
Oh, it's more than that because they're split. So it's like 6A, 6AA, 6A, then 5AA, 5A, like down to
Minnesota 7.
Yeah.
Minnesota 7 because you have 1 through 6, and then 9-man football is the smallest school.
Tennessee has technically 8 or 7 classifications, but they have like 3 divisions within one of the classes. So you have 9 state champions. My point is this. It does the 6AA, is that the only champion that matters in the state of Texas? Like does anybody else, their state championship is nullified because they're not in 6AA?
Oh no, not
at those all. Small schools put that on the water tower.
Oh yeah.
So it's not invalidated?
No.
So it means just as much.
It means a whole heck of a lot. I mean, obviously, right? Look, if you're talking about 6AAs and 6As, you're talking about like the North Shores in Houston. You're talking about some of those schools up in DFW, Westlake, and Austin. Like those are the big schools.
Like Duncanville.
It matters a lot.
Yeah.
What's that?
Like Duncanville type schools.
Duncanville, yeah. I mean, Drew Brees played at Westlake. Nick Foles played at Westlake. Like Quinn Ewers played at South Lake Carroll. Like those types of schools. Obviously, they're huge, massive schools. So everybody watches them for sure. But when you go to Arlington and to Jerry World to watch the state championship games and the playoffs and everything like that, once they get to the end rounds, it's awesome. You know what I mean? And everybody's really interested in who's going to win it in 3A this year, who's going to win it in 4A and 4AA. Like, yeah, it still matters a lot.
So my point is this: G5 would still matter.
I'd watch it.
Yeah,
G5 would still matter. It doesn't water anything down. It doesn't lessen it to any degree. And I told Mike this last night. I said, if it does, then ultimately the only championship that matters is the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think this is one of those things where it's what is like best for the team and the program, and what might actually be best for the school. And what these schools are thinking, the ADs and the presidents are thinking.
I think you get more money.
Well, it's more money. It's more exposure.
It's more money. Yeah.
You get into the playoff, right, which equals money, but that equals, I mean, I'm sure there's studies and statistics on this, but Alabama is a great example, right? Mm-hmm. Alabama was a big state school and everything before that. But once Nick Saban got to Alabama, the applications and the admissions went through the roof. And the amount of
example, University of Miami. They were
another example where someone did it. So was Virginia Tech after Beamer started winning and Michael Vick was there and stuff.
Totally.
Yes. Howard Schnellenberger put Miami on the map.
Yeah.
As a university and as a football program.
Right.
And so can you think of everyone watches the FCS national championship. Mm-hmm. Hell, I watched the Division III one when it was on.
Yeah.
Like people watch those things. And G5 has if they lean into this, they have a chance to own the midweek.
Yes.
They can own the midweek. Tuesday, Wednesday, they can own those 2 days.
I agree with that. I love all that.
Just go with it.
I love it. I love all that. But it's still not the exposure of the college football playoff and maybe making it, right? Like if your team, like a JMU this year or Tulane, just makes it, right? You get in. Boise State, Boise has a lot of the pub and everything from the years past.
Yeah.
But some of these teams, Tulane, not necessarily until very recent history, when Willie Fritz started the run at Tulane. But even still, I'm totally with you. I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. It's better for the teams probably to be in those midweek or own the midweek or, and people still watch that. But it's the hard work. It's the sickos like us, though, that watch it,
Yeah.
I think you would get casuals. I think if they just owned that time slot and people get used to it,
mm-hmm.
You could own that. The ratings would be pretty good, I think. I mean, are they going to be freaking SEC Big Ten ratings? No, they never will be.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter.
You don't have the alumni basis for that.
Yeah. The ratings for the JMU Oregon game were nowhere close to A&M Miami. We're nowhere close to the other games.
No.
It's like the ratings are going to be what they are. And I think if you have more drama, more competition, more teams fighting for that title, and you have some storylines there, people will tune in. I promise you. You create rivalries. Like there's some things there. Like North Dakota State's coming up. You build a tournament that features a chance for them to play on national television even more. And then now they get to fight JMU. Now they get to fight Tulane. Now they get to fight Toledo.
I see they're going to petition that to have the postseason waiting period lifted, which hopefully they win. It's an archaic rule that doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, I mean, these teams can jump up and immediately compete. So, and I don't have any doubts that North Dakota State can. So, like, just imagine what you can build. Is it ever going to be as good as the P4 college football playoff? No. But is the college football playoff better than the Super Bowl? No. Like ratings wise, no. Despite what you think about it, no, it's not, because it's the NFL. No. The NFL is on a totally different level.
Yeah. It's a global
fanhood. It's global. I mean, it's a massive event. No matter how boring the game is, people are watching it.
And when you get to the Super Bowl, it's more of an event than an athletic sport. Yeah.
And if you're comparing it's not apples to apples. It never will be. So but I think the biggest piece of the pie that the G5 can get is to split off and create their own tournament. That's the biggest piece of the pie that they can get.
Well, that might sort itself out too in the next decade or something, right? Because if it doesn't, if the juice really isn't worth the squeeze, and in the next couple of years of the playoff, these teams continue to get their teeth kicked in, right, no matter where they go, and ESPN continues to relegate them to TNT or TBS, right, and slough off these games and lease the rights to these other networks, and the ratings, don't hit levels that they do for these other teams and whatever, right? That's the money talking. Then the incentive is not really there anymore, and we may even see some other sands shift as well within the conferences as we continue to see consolidation go toward the top with the Big Ten and the SEC. So it may sort itself out anyway. And look, I'm good where we are in terms of the conferences. I don't want to see any more craziness, but it's probably bound to happen no matter what we think or care. But I'm with you. Like at the end of the day, whatever happens, I would much rather see JMU and Tulane. And I really think too, if you put a good playoff together for the G5, it would draw pretty solid ratings. In fact, I think like the Final Four, the semifinals, and the championship, you would do better ratings with the semis and the final game for that than you would Oregon and JMU this year, and on down the line of those games.
Why? Because you have drama.
Yeah.
You have drama.
There's the perception that it means something.
Correct.
Yeah. These games, it's not just a sacrificial lamb for Oregon or Ole Miss to warm up with.
And it's better games, right? Like not only is there drama, but the drama comes from the fact that these are evenly matched teams, and this is likely to go down to the wire, right? Where most everybody knows walking into it that Oregon and JMU probably isn't going to go down to the wire. Sorry, it's just not. And it didn't.
It didn't. Yeah, it didn't even come close to the wire.
No,
that game got way closer at the end than it really was throughout, because JMU scored late several times,
and Oregon probably took their foot off the gas, and they had the JV guys.
Oh yeah.
So it would be like if, boss man, give me a 3A school in Texas.
I think Refugio is a 3A school.
Okay, I've never heard of them, but Refugio. I said that right.
Refugio.
Yeah. Refugio.
Yeah.
Imagine if they got in the 6AA playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
First round, Westlake Austin.
It would be rough.
Yeah.
Oh, Westlake would beat them by 60. Westlake beats like 6A teams in Texas by like 40. So if they played a Refugio, a 3A Texas high school team,
Where is that? Where is
paying
Refugio?
70. I think it's outside of Houston, like kind of rural outside of Houston.
So that's so nobody benefits from that.
No.
Refugio gets curb stomped, and Westlake puts their JV in by the midway through the second quarter. Like nobody gets anything out of that.
Refugio's 2A, so they're even smaller than I thought. But
Okay.
I'm sorry, I picked the toughest sounding name to to do. They had a kid. Go ahead.
You give me names here. I love names. I don't struggle with names ever. Meanwhile, I struggle with like every name.
Yeah, A&M had a kid come out of there years ago, and he was okay, but yeah, no, you're right. Like any of those teams played in the top, the Dragons of South Lake Carroll, or playing North Shore, Duncanville, or any. I mean, it would be
who won 3A.
Let's see. It's a good question.
Who won 3A or 4A? Let's go 4A double A. Let's go 4 double A.
4 double A.
Yeah, 4 double A.
School football champ.
Damn, Vandy 16-pieced Texas in women's basketball tonight.
It was Carthage.
All right,
Okay.
Carthage. That's an easier one for me to say too. All right,
Yeah.
so Carthage. You put them in the 6AA tournament. What happens? They were state champion.
Same thing. Yeah, they're getting raced.
You guys starting to see my point? Any G5 people watching this, you see my point? Like, what good is that? Like, you go to the first round, Lottie freaking da.
Yeah.
You want to hoist a national champion. It's going to help your recruiting. It's going to give you exposure. You're going to own the midweek because that's what you're going to take over for TV. You have all eyes on you. Midweek Maction is a thing. Like, people love midweek Maction. It's kind of a cult classic type situation, but I think it would grow. I think it would grow legs. People wouldn't be used to it, but and it might be more of a casual watching event. Like, people on a Tuesday and Wednesday may be more casual watching it because Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, maybe you take the college games out of Friday, and maybe you put some G5 stuff on Fridays too.
I think the G5 should band together and create their own network. I think it would be pretty successful, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, figure out, I don't know, whoever a partner would be. Somebody would probably partner with them, right? Like,
yeah.
G5 should buy out the Locked On network.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe, Locked On, whoever. Somebody would do it.
Believe. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. I just think it would be, I don't know. That's my 2 cents. We spent 30 minutes on G5. I love it. It's G5 after dark. But also G5 was an existing network, so they'd have to buy those rights from the original owner of G5. It was like a gaming network.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it turned into Spike, and then I think it just went away. How freaking young are you guys? God, I'm like the only old bastard out here.
Spike. I remember Spike.
I remember Spike. I just didn't know the G5 thing.
Wasn't Spike? Didn't they have MXC? That's maybe the funniest show I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that was MXC.
I miss it so much. It's so hard to find now.
Yeah, no, that show was. We'd come home after we're just hammered and we're watching MXC just dying laughing.
Oh yeah. Completely not politically correct at all. So if any of y'all are watching,
not a shot that it's
one of the funniest shows you'll ever watch. Oh God, man.
The dubbing and everything just made it.
Yeah.
What's up, Andy Man?
Andy Man. Too bad they're complaining and whining about we're still here. G4 that's what it was. G4, not G5.
Should we talk a little QBs?
Yeah, let's talk QBs. There's some rankings coming out on already. And they have Jared Curtis as dead last and I don't think Jared Curtis should be in the top. I don't think he should be above any returning starter. But of the non-returning starters, I have a hard time with that list of him being at the bottom of that list.
And I don't think you can put him anywhere else at this point. Just off the principle of we've not seen him in college yet.
Now we got a show, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, have we really seen that?
I do. By the end of the year, I do not think he will be 16. I will say that.
Yeah. I don't necessarily, there it goes.
There we go.
I wasn't sure if we had that.
This was from Mike. This was from SEC Mike and
we haven't seen Austin Mack in college. Have we?
We saw him a little bit in the last game against Indiana get boat raced.
Yeah. So KJ Jackson, have we seen him in college?
Not enough.
No, definitely. Yeah, not at all. Minchie, nothing.
We haven't seen Minchie. So
I think like those guys from 13 to 16, you can pretty much just shake them up like dice and throw them in,
I think
whatever, just put them in 13 to
16. To me, I think Jared Curtis has better skills than all of those guys. I think he has the highest ceiling out of all those guys.
I think that's true. It's just freshman.
He might, yeah.
Freshman, if we get it 5-star, all that, that's great. He could be in the top 5 by season's end.
He's already practiced. He's already practiced with the team. Like he's already gotten reps and stuff. Like he's already there.
Yeah, but
so he's a freshman plus. So I think the freshman learning curve goes way down when they early enroll.
Can I ask you something, Corey, before we continue on with this key stuff? So looking at give me the way too early brief outlook for Vanderbilt, because I looked at, I've seen the transfer portal rankings coming in and what they brought in, the recruiting class is all kind of like, it's kind of okay. It's kind of like, at least from my perspective.
I think finish your question.
Boss man hasn't been watching Locked On Vandy too much when I've been on.
No, not yet. I need to catch up. We all got to catch up on each other's shows. Okay, that's just part of what we do here at SEC for Dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, from like that's me from the outside looking in. So like from a Vandy perspective, give me a little bit of like what Jared Curtis obviously is room for optimism, but like what else?
I think what you have with Vanderbilt's transfer ratings, as far as star power, yeah, they don't have a ton of guys that would pop up on these lists.
Yeah.
And to be honest, with the way Vanderbilt's coaching staff is developed and the fact that the fact that no one knew that they even had 2 specialist coaches, a guy for nickels and a guy for pass rush, the fact that they've built their coaching staff like an NFL coaching staff shows you that these guys are developing. So every single person that has come into this program has exited 2-3x the level of player that they were when they came in. Diego Pavia was just a scrappy option quarterback, and he was a Heisman finalist and an NFL candidate walking out the door. That kind of thing. They elevate the level of play for these guys. So what their strategy was this: they look for certain traits in recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
They went, hey, how can this guy help us? Right? They got a big 6'6", 315-pound tackle from an offensive line factory, North Dakota State.
Yeah.
They got a guard who was masquerading as a tackle, so his ranking was down because he was being ranked as a tackle. He's coming in to play guard. He's going to make way more of an impact as a guard. You just have guys that fit the system, fit the identity of just high motor guys that you can come in and develop with scheme and things like that. Like they're not going to, you're not going to put their roster up against other people's roster and go, but they have weapons. They have
the dude coming in from Pitt that's going to be center was a good pickup too.
Yeah, Ja'Cory Thomas coming in from Old Dominion, like he can get downfield. Old Dominion really just featured I can't think of the guy's name, the number one guy, but he was the number two guy. He had 700 yards. He was still productive.
He did.
And their quarterback signed at Wisconsin.
Colton Joseph.
Yeah, Colton Joseph signed at Wisconsin. And they had a really nice offense. They got a tight end, a senior tight end that was behind another senior tight end, or he's going to be senior, but he was behind an older guy at tight end, couldn't get much of like they got all these guys that had a chip on the shoulder, not good opportunities. So there is an unknown factor there. And they're fortunate to have the schedule set up the way it is so that they can kind of gel. But the notion that they're going to go 2-10 and back to what Vandy used to be, I think is done. Because
I don't expect that either.
And they had a really nice recruiting class.
Yeah.
They improved. So if you look at rankings, if you want to look at rankings, they improved 43 spots in the recruiting rankings from last year to this year. They jumped almost 50 spots in recruiting rankings. So, I mean, and it's only getting better. Like they're 14th currently in the team rankings, overall team rankings. And they're in it for a lot of 4-star guys.
Yeah. That's all helpful, right? Because I don't expect Vandy to go 2-10 either. All I'm saying is I'm tying this into like, okay, Jared Curtis is a freshman, and so what people are also seeing on the outside, like what's around him, you know?
Yeah, and you got both your running backs are coming, both your production.
Yep.
All your production at running back is coming back, and they're going to be featured more because Jared Curtis, they're not going to probably run him as much as they did Pavia. Your holes are obviously tight end. You improved the talent on the offensive line, but you are replacing 4 new starters. So that's a challenge, but you're getting better. What you're lacking in experience, you upgrade in talent. Defensively, you got an all-conference safety. Like they really put an emphasis on pass defense in the portal.
Got it. Okay.
They got a really good D tackle, Taylon Carter from Jacksonville State. Good player.
Mm-hmm. He's kind of like that. I guess you could call him a perimeter tackle. He's not your interior defensive lineman unless they go like a facet. He could come down on as a 3 technique on a guard, which is outside shoulder of the guard. So he's like a B C gap defender.
Got it.
Not your A gap plugger.
So Athletes Forum, our friend here. Thanks for joining us again, man. Good to see you. SEC going to be brutal? Yes, it is going to be brutal. Look at all those guys. There's some studs. There's some guys down there at the bottom of that list that like are pretty unknown who by the end of this season could easily move their way into the top 10, into the top 5 kind of thing. Marcel at 8. Yeah, look, I get it, honestly. I mean, I look at that list and I'm like, who do I put him in front of? I might put him in front of Sam Leavitt. Sam Leavitt. I'm not sold on Sam Leavitt. He probably will be good with Lane Kiffin.
2 years ago, he was really good.
No, I know. 2 years ago, he was really good, but he didn't.
Byron Brown above Arch. Like I think Arch is.
I would have Arch too.
We got to give Arch some love. We hammered him.
I would have Arch too.
We hammered him last year. We got to give him some love.
I'd have him at 16 probably, but that's pretty fair, right?
Yeah, I would have Chambliss, Arch, Mateer, and then God. As much as I hate to say it, based on last year, I might put Stockton ahead of Sellers, even though it is a knife in my heart to say that.
Sellers is high for me on this list too, and I know his ceiling is super high, but
he's like Arch. He's got to go out there and earn it now.
Yeah,
he had such a stinker of a year.
Arch did earn it, though. Arch was really good at the end of the year. Boss Man's heard me say this 400 times in the last month.
Yeah. He was. You know, my bias aside, he was good.
No, I know. Yeah,
I'd put him in the top. I think where he is pretty fair. I would question a little bit Byron Brown at 4. I mean, I know his stats awesome at
above
USF.
Mateer and Arch is. I don't agree with that at all.
I'd have him below both of those two, and I'd probably have him below Leavitt too.
Yeah, And the reason for me is like, look, I know he's coming back with his coach, right, Golesh, and like he's had big stats in that offense. But you got to prove it in the SEC, man. Yeah, this is not, USF and playing, some of those teams every week. This is the SEC. So
yeah, I know you got some experience, but show me. I'm excited about Kamario Taylor. I don't know that he's 10.
Yeah. I will say I don't hate to place on the list, but boss man, like you and Hammer are doing, your impact transfer lists on biscuits. Mm-hmm. I would have Kenny Minchie as number 1 for me because whether he's good or bad, he's going to have the most impact. If he doesn't make it, Kentucky's going to be terrible. If he plays well like he can with Stein, Kentucky could be pretty frisky. Like, not saying he'll be best or worst, he might have the most impact.
That's a great point. I mean, it's much like my first ballot Hall of Famer, Zach Calzone-Calzada.
Yep.
I thought he was going to be good, and he wasn't good. And then Mark Stoops gets fired, later down the line. And that wasn't all because of Zach Calzada, but it was a big part of it. I mean,
now Will Stein's not going to get fired year 1, but I think it puts him behind the 8 ball and gets people questioning, is this the right guy? And then you just got a weird vibe from there. But I'm not sure Aaron Philo is even going to be the quarterback at Florida.
Yeah.
First of all.
And I don't know that KJ Jackson will be either. AJ Hill could win that job.
Yeah.
True.
And for that, like, I don't know that you can put them ahead of guys that are, Jared Curtis is not officially named starter, but he's starting. It's
not going to be Blaze Berlowitz. Yeah.
It ain't Blaze Berlowitz. Now, if it was Blaze Berlowitz, okay, he's 16. Yeah. But Kamario Taylor, I don't know. I don't know that you put him above Austin Simmons. I don't know that you even put him above Austin Mack. But I think Curtis is right there below Mack. And you just bump the rest of us down.
I don't hate where Austin Simmons is on this list. I think by the end of the year, Simmons will be higher on the list. Right now, I'm okay with that spot, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're okay. Yeah. On Marcel at 8, there's a couple guys you were talking about here where it's like, prove it, show me, right? Well, that's for Marcel too. I think that's why he sits there at 8. And as I look at this list, I'm like, I might move him up a spot or 2, but I think he's in a pretty fair spot. And he played great for 11 games. The kid's ceiling is number 1 or number 2 QB in the conference. I mean, when he is on, he can be that good. But when he's not, he can be
16.
16, right? I mean, like the lows are very low. And so going into next year, it's a show me year, right? Like you've been the starter. This will be, 2.5 years of you being a starter, basically going into year 3. Where you're going to start significant games. So you have to overcome the mistakes that he was making, like against South Carolina in the first half, the second half against Texas, and then the entire game against Miami, in order to move up that list. And so he's got it in him. The ceiling is very high for Marcel Reed, but show me.
And you're going to have 4 new O-linemen in front of you this year.
Yes.
Doing that too. It's going to be tough.
Losing Le'Veon Moss. Losing Casey Concepcion. Now you get Isaiah Horton, wide receiver. That's helpful, and you've got some studs there and some guys who could break through next year, like Ashton Bethel Roman, maybe Terry Bussey. You still have Mario.
I think Ruben Owens will still be a good back too.
He will, and he's shown flashes, but I'm ready to see him break through too. He's got to take another step. Mostly it's been kind of the end of games where he's gotten most of his yardage. And his vision needs to get better as well. A lot of like running into the backs of linemen that drives me a little crazy. But when he gets out in space, I mean, he's fast as anybody, right? So we'll see what he can do. The Aggies have a stable of running backs. They're going to have plenty on to help Marcel Reed in the with their skill position players. But like you said, Mike, 4 offensive linemen being replaced, tough.
Will Brady Hart be QB too?
In all likelihood, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of talked about that, Andy. I think he's probably top 2 by the end of the year, but
yeah,
Yeah.
There's going to be debate.
Yeah,
there.
top 2 or 3. I think Sellers is going to be up there. Trinidad obviously should be up there. Gunnar
I think
Stock,
Mateer is going to be hovering. I think he's pretty good.
if he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
If he can stay healthy, I think he can be.
They rushed him back last year. That hurt him in the long run, I think.
Totally.
What do you guys think about Austin Simmons? Where do you think he kind of lands? Because that's an interesting one because he's got a ton of talent.
He does. And he has one of the 2 best running backs in the conference on his team too, with Ahmad Hardy.
I think that's an interesting one because he was a victim of circumstance there with he got Wally pipped.
Sure did. That's a great comparison. Yeah, I love it.
He got Wally pipped, yeah. And Joey Aguilar, like, if he's back, does he fit in at 9? Is he better than that? Our guys better than him?
If it's not Joey Aguilar, whoever's at Tennessee is 16. By the way, just because again, if it's not him, it's probably Faison Brandon, and we're having him and Curtis right now would be the bottom 2 anyway. I think just because we're dealing with a true freshman.
Yeah, that'd be a hell of a battle. Faison Brandon versus Jared Curtis at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Who did their homework the most? Who's got the best?
Yeah.
I kind of want that actually, but yeah, I think people are way underselling Jared Curtis.
And here's a question I got about Jared Curtis though, right? I mean, and Corey, you can help me out here because
I don't know anything about Jared Curtis.
Well, the offense, right, that they ran with Pavia fit Pavia very well, right? Like the option style, the very unique offense. I mean, obviously he goes to the Heisman ceremony, right? He finished his second in the Heisman. So it fit Pavia very well. Like, will it fit Jared Curtis? Or obviously they're going to adapt a little bit to his skill set.
So if you want to know where they're going to start the re-evolution of the offense, start with the Texas game.
Okay.
You see them going more downfield.
Mm-hmm.
You see them more intermediate. You see the route stretching. You see more RPOs. You see more run game.
Got it.
So I think really the only thing from the last half of the season is you just take the quarterback runs and cut them in half or maybe even more than that.
Okay.
And you insert more running back runs and more RPO, and then you have the downfield stuff. That's where this offense is probably going to be. And they might have a few design runs for Curtis, like some draws, some quarterback powers and things like that because he's a big body. Like he's 6'3", 6'4", 220. Like he's a big dude. He's not a miniature guy. Right? He's not small, and he's tough, and he can run. He can run. So he just doesn't prefer it. So you're gonna get an adaptive offense nonetheless.
Yeah. No, that all makes sense. On Minchie, what the heck do we think about that? I mean, he's a junior, right? He'll be a third year coming into Kentucky.
Yes,
and pretty highly recruited, 4-star recruit, I believe, right, to Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody at Notre Dame seems to speak very highly of him, and that it basically was like just a hair as to why CJ Carr beat out Kenny Minchie.
Yeah, I remember.
Give me those thoughts on him because I don't know what to think.
And for a while, he hits the portal, and initially everybody thought he was going to go to Nebraska and take over for Raiola. That was the rub right there when he bolted, and then he's going to Kentucky, and that tells me something that another team and another coaching staff that knows QBs wanted him bad. So.
Mm-hmm.
Which money,
yeah, because I thought Kentucky was about to land like Perbula or Levitt or somebody like that, and then they landed Minchie, and I'm like, oh, that's an interesting pick there. And, they get Will Stein, and I'm like, okay, this is going to get interesting in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Year one, I have no clue what's going to happen. Year one, year two, it's going to get real interesting in Lexington. So Kenny Minchie, I really don't know because there's so many variables at Kentucky. So many variables that make it tough to predict him.
Yeah.
I will say Stein cleaned up in the portal this year. They had a very good offseason.
So, yeah. And when you deal with portal guys, you really, truly have no idea.
Yeah.
And you have no idea about the coaching staff because this is his first run at it. So he's got a lot to learn with building staffs, sitting in the head coach.
Jay Bateman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman.
Have fun with that.
Coming in
Enjoy that.
It's all, whatever. Like with Jared Curtis, you have a veteran coaching staff. It's been established. It's been, the foundation or the new foundation for Vanderbilt for this sake has been set. So you can predict it a little bit. There's a lot of variables, but you have an educated idea of like, okay, we can kind of project Jared Curtis. We can't do that with Kenny Minchie because everything is new.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, the same to some degree with Camario Taylor. I mean, Mississippi State, tons of new transfers in, right? Transfers out, transfers in. So
and an offense that was trying to adjust to him.
Right.
That it really wasn't his offense last year, and he kind of was in, and it just was like, okay, well, we're trying to navigate.
And conversely, because of that, opposing defenses weren't game planning for him. When they now get more film on Taylor and game plan for him, will he still succeed?
And will Lebby understand? Like the thing that made Pavia so great is he took. Tim Beck took, Jerry Kill took, Clark Lee took everything that basically they self-scouted and said, and Clark Lee and the defensive staff was like, this is how we're stopping Diego Pavia. The book is out. This is how we're stopping him. So if you get good at this, this, and this, he can't be stopped because they'll have to stop that stuff, and then he'll go back to doing what he does best. So he fixed those things. Same thing for Camario Taylor. You got to go back in and say, okay, well, how are defenses now going to prepare for you when they know you're the guy?
Right. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense to me.
And tailor things towards that to where you now have answers. Your bread and butter is your bread and butter, but you now have answers.
Right. Right. And that's what we were talking about on Biscuits a lot going into this year. That's why I don't know if you guys
Coaching matters.
Saw our shows a couple of weeks ago, but
that's why coaching matters.
Definitely. We were talking about how, we went through our grades, right? Our 2025 grades, because we were talking about, what picks we made in the preseason. And I think I picked Vanderbilt to go 4-8. Because I was like, they've got film on Pavia. Let's see it, right? Like I would love to see Vanderbilt do much better than what I'm picking them to do.
Yeah.
But let's see it again, right? Do it twice. And they did. Totally shut me up, right? So
that happens. I picked against Vandy basketball on Tuesday with Zach Blackerby, and they came out and won. They did everything I said they wouldn't do.
Yeah.
I'll
give Hammer and I props in this regard. There were some stinker picks that we made from last year, without a doubt. But overall, I think I averaged out all the grades, and we gave each other grades, right? So there was a little bit of unbiased there.
Y'all both got like mid B's, right?
Yeah. I think Hammer got a B plus, and I got a B.
When you're doing that for an entire conference, that's pretty good.
I know. I felt like that too. I was like, hey, we had a pretty good year this year, right? Like getting a B and a B plus is pretty good.
Well, someone on this list win the Heisman, yeah, of course. Jared Curtis.
I'm going no, but okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
If I was
a chance, Trinidad has a chance.
Yeah.
Who else is it?
If I was betting now, I'd probably go Dante Moore or Julian Sand to win it, but
probably Julian's. Well,
yeah. But Sand is Jeremiah Smith and him, are those two going to cut into each other's votes too?
That could also happen to Arch maybe a little bit if it's Cam Coleman. If him and Cam Coleman are just, crushing it next year.
That's why Dante Moore would be the favorite for me going into the year. He's pretty good.
I think with Arch it's different because he's a Manning.
Yeah.
He won't split votes with
That's
Cam.
fair.
He's a Manning. He's got the name.
Yeah.
If Arch is in it, he's winning it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Darian Mensah is another candidate.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one down at Miami.
Yeah. Yeah. I like.
I can tell you who it's not going to be. Byron Brown or Gunnar Stockton.
That's fair.
And I love Gunnar Stockton. Gunnar Stockton's a weird one for me because Georgia's offense is just so clunky.
Yeah.
It's like it's just so robotic, systematic. Like you can tell he's calling off a play sheet. Like you can tell when Mike Bobo, I've watched him for years, even before he when he was the OC the first time around before he left to go to Colorado State, it was like this too. You could tell when he was reading off the sheet and when he was in the flow of the game. You could tell. It was so easy to tell. Because the plays started not making sense. They started not sequencing together. And it seemed like he just wasn't watching the game and he just looking at the situation and picking a play. And there's other times where it's like dude's in his bag.
Yeah, no doubt. I think I just don't know the Gunners ever going to put up the stats necessarily, to in that offense. Like they might win a national title, but put up the stats that you got to have, to really get over the top as a Heisman winner. I don't know if they'll have it.
No, he won't. I mean, and that's okay. And if they win those team awards, that's fine too. I mean, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, it's crazy. I
poo-pooed Levitt earlier. He could make a run at it. If it works, if it clicks in Lane Kiffin's offense at LSU with all the weapons he's going to have, could be a dark horse.
I think QB's going to be electric there for LSU.
Jaden Maeva at USC and Brendan Sorsby at Texas Tech now will both be.
Is USC dangerous because now they got finally a defensive coordinator?
I think they're going to be good. Yeah,
like that's scary. They were pretty good last year, and they don't know. They've never known what defense was under Lincoln Riley.
Yeah,
I mean Lincoln was terrible on D when he was at Oklahoma too. Yeah,
it was Charmin Ultrasoft, and he was in the Charmin Ultrasoft conference.
He was like D coordinators what James Franklin was with O coordinators. They were head coaches that ruined them.
Yeah. And he finally wised up and went and got Gary Patterson, who's an elite defensive coordinator.
I like the pickup, Andy. I think it was a good one.
I agree.
Good.
Yep.
He's going to suck. He's going to be terrible. Indiana's going to go back to the cellar.
Yeah.
What a dumb pick.
Stupid. An idiot.
Hoover's smart. That is a smart choice, Andy, man.
That is a really good choice.
2 minutes, Corey.
Damn, we're already there, huh? Okay. Damn, we passed that by a long time ago. Anyway, this was fun. I think we talked about everything except SEC there for most of the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did a G5 chunk. Yeah.
Yeah, we did G5 after dark, but it is February. Who cares, right? We're going to go off the rails. You know it. We know it. We all know it. It's all good. But anyway, those on the side of the yearbook that are not pictured. The other half of Biscuits and SEC with Hammer, Jake Thomas, your double shot of Alabama, Jeb Beecham. He's just a guy, but he's here. And pictured from right to left is Bossman, the other half of the Biscuits and SEC. Phenomenal shows there. I got to catch up on what you guys are doing, but man, it's great. It's great stuff, man. Mike Huseman rolling like a rolling ball of butcher knives. He's rocking like a hurricane. Off season after dark. Also, his appearances on Locked On Vandy as well.
We got Wisconsin Badger focused episode next week at Off Season After Dark,
and it's Matthew Perkins. It's Perko.
Yep.
So are you getting Perko, or are you getting both Perko and Bernie?
Just him, just Perko. Yeah.
It'd be a treat if you got Bernie too. Bernie's great. If you don't know who Bernie is out there listening, it's the Hebrew Hammer himself.
Yeah.
Matt Bernstein,
former Badger fullback. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
SEC baseball this weekend too, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. SEC baseball. Vandy, Arkansas, and Oklahoma are in the Shriners Children's College Baseball Showdown.
Is that in the Ranger Stadium or is it indoors?
It's in Globe Life.
Okay.
Yeah,
which is indoors now. The new one is.
It's retractable.
Oh, okay.
Retractable. Yeah, so they might have the roof down. Yeah, they might have the roof down.
So, yeah, they got that. It's basically SEC Big 12 Showdown because the SEC teams match up in a 3-game set with the Big 12 team. So, Vandy opens up with TCU, then Texas Tech, then Oklahoma State, and then Arkansas and Oklahoma I guess they all just play the inverse of that schedule. I don't know who they open up with, but it's going to be a nice series there. Arkansas is going to be a hell of a team as well this year in baseball. The SEC is loaded in baseball, by the way. I think they have like 8 teams in the top 25.
D1 baseball has, I believe, 11.
That's even better.
11 SEC teams in the top 25.
Yeah. Like, I know it's crazy.
Next week, the Gamecocks are doing something cool. It's their Salute to Service series. So in Columbia, Army, Navy, Air Force will all be there for those 4 will be doing a weekend series.
That's
playing each other.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That is fun. Yeah, Vandy got their closer last year was from Air Force. He transferred in from Air Force. Saw your Hawks.
Didn't Paul Skeen start at Air Force before going to LSU?
He did. Yeah. He did. So, okay. We got some college baseball going on this weekend. Got obviously some basketball action as well. Vandy and the Aggies are playing this weekend. So there you go.
It's going to be fun. You guys get us at a good time.
Yeah.
We're sliding.
Well, hopefully you can slide for one more game. So for that.
It was not sliding. Maryland Terrapins 2 in a row.
All right, it's time to go.
We got Stephen Willis locked on Ole Miss. He's having fun with all this Trinidad stuff. And I'm Corey Burton locked on Vandy. Make sure you like and subscribe to all of our shows and also this one right here. Until next time, arrivederci, baby. See you in the promised land. Go Dogs, anchor down.
Gig 'em.
Spurs up. Cowbell.
In stream.